Hello, this is Hermes developing novel attacks against cold wallets. I'm Clay Carper. Let's get into it. A little bit more about me. I'm a second year PhD student in computer science, and I am funded by Kraken. My research interests include uh, cold wallet security assessment, cryptography, and side channel attacks. So, a little bit of background for this project. So, a cold wallet is a hardware device that is air gapped, which means it's not typically continuously connected to another device or to the network, that is used to store private keys that are typically associated with cryptographic currency wallets or just cryptocurrency wallets, if you prefer. So, something that I would like to investigate are ways to exploit these wallets to get information out of them. So we can do attacks that target specific chips, such as the STM32F2 FPGA chip. It has been shown that it can be attacked using a electromagnetic fault injection. And really the benefit of trying to explore these attacks is if we can get access to the seed phrase or the recovery phrase that is associated with that wallet. It's typically a 24-word phrase that if you have that phrase, you can access the entire contents of that wallet. So securing that is a very important thing, and if we can find ways to access it, hopefully we can find ways to prevent that, right? So the question really is then how do we secure these phrases? And what's really at risk here? Well, typically the contents of those wallets are various cryptocurrencies. Those wallets could contain NFTs. It's not only that, but it's the security and the well-being of the network. If we can get access to these or corrupt these devices, then we're potentially crippling that blockchain's ability to do transactions. So the problem statement here, what we really want to do is we want to improve the recovery or the security associated with these recovery phrases. So to do so, I will first take a adversarial approach. I'm going to try to not only replicate but build new attacks against these hardware devices to get access to these recovery phrases. From there, I'll also just kind of explore what's already been done again and what can be done. And then, as I said, I'll try to develop new attacks. So what this will enable us to do then is to alter this design space and say, okay, what needs to change? If we have the best devices available that we can, cool, that's great. If we can improve them, how can we do so? But just having an understanding of what the space looks like will really be critical. The variety in device is massive. If you go out and try to purchase a hardware wallet right now, there are many devices on the market, and some of them are flashier than others. Some of them look very simple, but the real point there is a variation. So examining many different devices will enable us again to understand this space better. So really the methods that we are going to use depend upon having physical access to a said device. If you don't have access to these devices, they're very secure. They're air gapped. They're virtually impossible to access from a wireless standpoint, but if you physically have access to the device, that's the attack surface that we're really going to look at. So these types of attacks include glitch attacks, electromagnetic fault injection attacks, and there's other strategies as well. So it's worth noting the figure on the right is a memory dump from a Trezor 1 device that I will try to replicate in the coming weeks. That's on the fourth line. They have the 24-word recovery phrase that they dump directly from memory. That is the recovery phrase for that wallet. So this can be done. So the motivating example for this is a study that was done in a textbook that will come out in the next couple months that's called the Hardware Hacking Handbook. And essentially what they did was they took a Trezor One wallet and they used a electromagnetic fault injection attack to manipulate this device into dumping its memory, is really what it was. So the white kind of funny shaped thing in the middle, that is the wallet. The device on the left is a chip shouter. That is a device that is used to inject or deliver the electromagnetic pulse to the target device. And then the Phi Whisper USB is a device that's used to trigger and give the target device power. So all of this kind of together sits on this XY table, so you can kind of move it around if you need to and have whatever precision that you need. So some of the challenges of even just replicating an attack like this is that much of this framework is very theoretical. So in a theoretical sense, we understand these concepts. We understand how to apply electromagnetic pulses at a specific time to have a desired outcome. The problem is we're trying to do this on a physical device. So it can certainly be done, but replicating that is absolutely a challenge. If we're able to break these devices, if we're able to access these recovery phrases, then what does security mean? This is currently the standard for these types of devices. So if we can access this information, how do we move forward, right? So some future work will include, again, trying to replicate these attacks, exploring similar attacks on different devices, and seeing if this was just a one-off or if this is generally a strategy that will work. And then can we detect these type of attacks preemptively? So when we're designing software, can we implement some sort of check that will allow us to prevent this in the future? And that's kind of one direction that I see this going. So the images from this presentation were taken from these sources, and if you would like to discuss any of the content that was presented here or ask me any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.